what is the easiest way to decrease accidents at work? Well, depending on your industry, you really should have a proper health and safety policy and procedures in place already. So this is assuming that you've already done the things that you have to do in your industry. But there's some simple things that you can do to improve this further. And what I'm going to share with you is a free method that you can introduce to your workplace. It should be relatively easy to implement, just maybe a little bit of creativity and a bit of fun, which will also help decrease stress in the workplace as well. So this has a number of effects depending on how you do it, but it is free to implement. And it's something that's perhaps been forgotten about, especially in the UK, but this is being used in Asia and the Middle East a little bit more. It used to be used in America, or it became a popular fad in America in the 70s, but its use has sort of declined for some reason. But now there's some serious research that's been done that show that there is indeed a correlation, and this does help. And this is knowing about something called biorhythms. Now, when it comes to rhythms of life, we all know that, for instance, a lady's emotional cycles change over a period of a month. We know that there's going to be emotional changes. And this is pretty much taken for granted. But men also have an emotional change over a period of about 28 days as well. But what has also been noticed is that there's possibly a physical biorhythm that lasts about 23 days, where we go from being, a high to a low, back to a high again. And there's also an intellectual biorhythm lasting 33 days. I'm on a low intellectual biorhythm at the moment. But understanding where your lows and highs are perhaps isn't really important, and there's a lot of contention as to whether these things really exist or not. But something that does seem to help decrease work accidents is understanding what's called the critical days. So, behind me, biorhythms. Okay, so the biorhythms, so we start at birth, everything's sort of at zero. Then our physical biorhythm gets to a high, then it goes through the middle, and this is where a critical day occurs, and then it gets to the low, and then it comes, and then as it goes into positive, that's another critical day. Now the physical cycle lasts 23 days, emotional cycle lasts 28 days, and intellectual 33 days. And it's not where the highs and lows are that you really need to take note of, it's where it crosses the line. These are apparently the critical days where more likely accidents are going to occur. Now you can go online, and there are a number of free biorhythm calculators, so you can actually, for your entire workforce, just put in the date of birth, the year, the month, the day, and it will print out the biorhythms for your day, the month, the year. And what you can do for each employee is you can actually work out when their critical days are throughout the year or the month in advance, and you can make sure on that day to tell them to be careful, make sure they're aware of all the procedures. And just talking to them on the critical days will be enough to decrease accidents and injuries. Now if you get them to take a personal interest in it as well, it may reap even more rewards. Now the critical days to be aware of, according to the studies, is you can actually forget the emotional critical day. That one apparently doesn't have an effect on decreasing work accidents and injuries. It's the physical and the intellectual one, so the 23-day cycle and the 33-day cycle. Those are the ones you want to take care of. So a critical day is just where it crosses the line. Now the critical days are good to do some warnings on, but you'll also find that there are some days that happen where there's two biorhythms cross on the same day or almost on the same day. One can be going up, one can be going down, or they can both be going up or both be going down, and very rarely there's a critical day where there's three happening. Now those are the ones you really need to take care of and plan in advance. Maybe you want to put the employer on different duties on that day that don't involve heavy machinery, etc. This is something for you to think about. I suggest maybe just looking at this for maybe a month, 90 days perhaps should be enough, and to see if there's a decrease in accidents and injuries. So biorhythms, it's free, it's easy to implement, it can also be a lot of fun, which can decrease stress as well. Okay, bye for now. And look out for my other videos on how to decrease colds and flus in the workplace and how to prevent injuries. Not accidents, but injuries. Okay, bye for now.